Hello again. I am pre-recording the second of the videos for all of you while I am in Italy. This week we're starting a new social theorist, Durkheim. Some people love him, some people hate him. I don't care if you love or hate him as long as you understand him. That is my main deal. Some people think he's a little bit icky and a little bit colonialist, and he is. But there are useful things that we can take away from Durkheim's theories. So reading journal, question number 1. In Division of Labor and Society, Durkheim outlines two forms of social solidarity that can be studied through the use of an empirical indicator, the legal code. Why does he look at legal codes to learn about solidarity? This is about empiricism and scientific method, essentially. It's hard for us to measure things like solidarity. They're very abstract. Legal codes are something that we have that are written down. They're easy to quantify. We can see them, we can touch them, we can digest them. So he looks at legal codes as a way to measure solidarity, which is something that's more abstract. He uses a concrete indicator. This is something we do in sociology today. We will use documents, laws, and culture to better understand the way people behave with one another. What conclusions is he able to draw from the differences between repressive and restitutive law? So he thinks that repressive law is something more prevalent in mechanical solidarity and is more of an old way of dealing with dysfunction in a system. So punishment and cutting out the bad part. Kind of like if you have a plant, I'm a little bit of a plant lady, instead of trying to heal a diseased part of the plant, you just cut it off. We want it gone. We want it in prison, or we want it beheaded. We don't want it spreading anywhere else in the plant and making things bad. Restitutive law is more about rehabilitation of the wrong and reintegrating the wrongdoer into society so that the society can be functioning again. He thinks this is a more advanced, I don't like that term, but it's a way that he sees more organic solidarity places using law. So an example would be, I was just in a car wreck a few weeks ago and the person rear-ended me. He was going too fast. It happens, I'm fine. They did not send him to jail and take away his license and say, never again are you allowed to drive, you horrible person. Instead, he got a citation and he has to enroll in defensive driving school so that he can learn to become a safer driver and then come back, and when he's driving home from work next time, he won't go so fast, but he can continue his job in the world in Phoenix, contributing in that way. So what are the differences between mechanical and organic solidarity according to Durkheim? Mechanical solidarity is when people generally have the same functions. So everybody's doing very similar things. So in a society of farmers, everybody's farming their little farms, everybody's churning their own butter, everybody is taking care of himself or herself or their own little farm. And since people serve the same function, it's easier to exile someone when they break social norms and laws. Organic solidarity is when people have more specialized roles through division of labor. So someone might run the clothing store, somebody might be running the grocery store, someone has the bank. All these people serve different functions. And without all of them working together, because they're interdependent, they rely on each other. When there's an issue with one person, it's key to reintegrate them and to rehabilitate through restitutive law so that the society is functioning. We don't want to send someone away Because if there's no grocery store, what are we gonna do? So those are the main differences. Durkheim also talks about how he sees mechanical solidarity as more primitive. I don't like this. It's icky and colonialist. I do think there is evidence of mechanical solidarity within societies we see in the US and other parts of the West. I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive. Think of them as ideal types. We'll get into that when we talk about Weber. And another fun pop culture example that I don't want you writing about on your exam. If you remember the movie Mean Girls, I'm probably dating myself. I had students a couple years ago who were like, "You're old." Thank you. Then the lunchroom cafeteria scene. There are all these different tables with groups. The band geeks, the popular plastics, the art people. So within those groups, they all serve the same function within their group. So in the popular plastics group, they all wear pink on Wednesdays, they all look a lot alike, they all obey the same set of norms, and they do the same things. When Regina wears sweatpants on Monday, they exile her from the table. She gets cut from that mechanical solidarity group. Now, in the grander scheme of the high school and the lunchroom, the different cliques are more like an organic solidarity system. They're different, they fulfill different functions. The art people create the art, the band geeks make the music, and I'm not saying people who are in band were geeks. I was friends with a lot of people in band. The plastics wear pink and bully people, that is their function. So everybody has a job. Hopefully that helps make Durkheim, if not more palatable, a little more relatable and useful. How is organic solidarity derived from the division of labor, and how does it look different than mechanical solidarity? I already talked about this. What do you think Durkheim means on page 247 when he says that society is reality sui generis? Everyone always struggles with this question every time we teach this course. Durkheim is not saying that every society to ever exist is unique from each other. That is true, and part of it. What he means by society is reality sui generis is that society exists before the people in it and the individuals who make up society. So people don't even have to realize they're in a society. But if it's a group of people, they're in a society. They may have formalized rules and codes. They may not. But the fact that they are grouped together makes them a society. And it exists before the cultures and the individuals who make it unique and special. So society comes first. It's not that each society is different than another, although that is technically true, not what Durkheim means. Number 4, what is the sacred according to Durkheim? How does it differ than the profane? Can you think of an example of each in contemporary society? This is the easiest question for me to tell who actually read the entire readings. Sacred means special, profane means everyday. It does not mean swearing, bad words, and sacrilege. It just means something regular and everyday. My favorite example of profane and sacred to use for University of Minnesota is our friend Goldie the Gopher. So Goldie is a 13-lined ground squirrel, which I have learned through my friends at Minnesota. And when we see a picture of Goldie, specifically cartoon Goldie or mascot Goldie, we know what he stands for. He's special. He's about University of Minnesota. That has special meaning for us. Now, to people who don't go to University of Minnesota, they may see that picture of Goldie and think, weird cartoon, whatever. For other people, Goldie may be a profane symbol or a regular, everyday, non-special symbol. For students and faculty at University of Minnesota, he is sacred. I have pictures taken with Goldie. They're very close to my heart. And if we were to see a regular wild 13-lined ground squirrel, that would be a profane gopher. It's not Goldie, it's just a regular little gopher running around. Hopefully that helps. So it's not cursing, and it's not sacrilege. If you missed that question, please go back and complete the readings. That covers our lesson on Durkheim. I hope that you're having a great summer. Please start studying for your exams. I know it seems like it's a few weeks out, but it's a good time to start. I'm still in Italy when you're seeing this, but I will be back fairly soon. I get back into the US on the 30th. Email me if you have questions or concerns. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great rest of your week.